Alright, this is Unit 9, Day 8 review for the test. I'm not sure you're going to get a test, but you should still do the review. I would do the review first and then watch the video to see how you did and go from there. Alright, so graph the following. It's a piecewise function. We have two pieces. So we're going to make a table for each piece and graph from the table. So this is for x values less than 1. So 1, 0, negative 1, and 2. And I'm going to put an open circle around my 1 to make sure I get the open circle because there was no equal sign. And if I plug in a 1, I get a 2, 0, I get 1.5, negative 1, I'll get 1, and then I'll get a half. And then for this one, it wants y values greater than or equal to 1, so I don't circle anything. And I'll get these values. Alright, time to graph. 2.5. Oops, sorry, that should have been a negative 2. Negative 1, 1, 0, 1.5, and 1, 2 as an open circle. The inequality points to the left, so the arrow goes to the left. Next one I get is 1, 2 that closes in that circle. Make sure you close it all the way so that there's no doubt. And the inequality points to the right, so the arrow goes to the right. Make sure you label your graph f of x. Number 2 is a step function. And step functions don't require a table. Step functions don't have any x's in them. These are all horizontal lines. And I need to replace my y-axis because I need to go from 9 to 12. So I'm going to put it way over here. Okay, so I get a y value of 3 starting at negative 1 and ending at 2. So close circle because of the equal sign. Open circle on 2, 3. Connect the dots. So when you have a start and a stop, you're basically just plotting those 2 points and connecting them. Alright, so the next one, I'm going to plot the point 2, 5 and 4, 5. Oh, shoot, you know what? I'm going to start this graph all over again because now that I see my y value goes up to 10, I need to redraw my axes. If you had this on a Regents, they would give you a much larger piece of graph paper. So I'm going to go all the way down here. Sorry, guys. Alright, starting over. I'm going to plot the point negative 1, 3 and 2, 3. Negative 1, 3 gets a solid circle. 2, 3 gets an open circle. Connect the dots. Plot the point 2, 5 and 4, 5. 2, 5 gets a solid circle. 4, 5 gets an open circle. Connect the dots. Then I'm going to plot the point 4, 8 and 9, 8. 4, 8 gets a solid circle because of the equal sign. 9 gets an open circle because it has no equal sign. Then I'm going to plot the point 9, 10 and 12, 10. 9, 10 gets a solid circle. 12, 10 gets an open circle. Connect the dots. There's our step function. We'll label it f of x. Alright, another piecewise. They have x's in them. That means we're going to go get tables. And for x values less than or equal to 1, so I do not circle my thing. Okay, and then this is for values greater than 1. So open circle on the 1. Alright, and I'm not sure I'm going to fit all these points. I have to go down to negative 5, so I'll make sure I get that one on there. Alright, we'll call that good enough. -2, -5, -1, -3, 0, -1, 1, 1, and the inequality points left. So draw my arrow left. Then we have 1, 4, open circle, 2, 7, 3, 10. Now nobody says you have to have 4 points for each, so 3 is good enough. Inequality goes to the right, so I draw my arrow to the right, label my graph f of x. Alright, evaluate. So you have to figure out which piece to plug this in and find the answer. F of 0. 0 is less than 2, so I plug it into the first piece, and I get 2. Okay, now I know this is baby math, but make sure you show this on a Regents because they want to see which piece you used and you need to show some work. Alright, F of 2. 2 is not less than 2. 2 is greater than or equal to 2, so I'm going to use the bottom piece. And I'm going to get 5. 5 is greater than or equal to 2, so again, I'm going to use the bottom piece and get 11. Alright, we have to write our function. This is a step function. Okay, if they have you write piecewise functions on the Regents, it's generally step functions, not the piecewise. Alright, so starting with the piece on the left, it goes to -infinity. Well, at the y value is -3. The left goes to -infinity, and it goes to an x value of -2. If you don't like that notation, when the arrow points to the left, our inequality points to the left, you could just say x is less than -2. No equal sign because it's an open circle. Alright, the next step has a y value of 0. It starts at an x value of -2, ends with an x value of 1. Both circles are closed in, so both of those get an equal sign. The next y value is 3. It starts with an x value of 1 and goes to infinity. Since 1 is an open circle, there's no equal sign, and you never put an equal with infinity. But if you like, because it has an arrow, you could just write it as x is greater than 1. Okay, so you can write with infinities or as a single inequality, your choice. Alright, graph this. You can go and get yourself a table if you'd like, but the way to graph it without a table is to remember that your shift is your vertex. So the opposite of the x is a -3, and then -4 stays the same. So your shift is your vertex, and this is basically your slope, which says go down 1, right 2. So we'll graph this. So -3, -4 is here. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Do it again on the other side, but you're going down and left now because you have a perfectly symmetric graph. Okay, so I'll label that A, label that A. Axis is symmetry, just like with a quadratic. X equals -3. It's a vertical line, it's a vux, x equals. Your vertex, we figured out to graph it anyway, but it's that oddball point in the middle of your table. Domain, left to right, -infinity, +infinity. Range, the lowest value is -infinity because it goes down forever. Highest value is -4 with a square bracket. Aaron buys gas at a self-service gas station for $2.75 per gallon. The gas station has a promotion going on that anyone who buys more than 10 gallons of gas only has to pay $2.50 per gallon. Aaron's tank will hold 12 gallons of gas. Write a function for the total cost C of G as a function G of gallons of gas. Now this came out of day 5, which we cut out of the unit to shorten things up a bit. Generally not seen on the Regents, but threw it on here for a challenge problem. So the cost of gas is a piecewise function because you pay one price for a certain amount of gas and you pay a different price for another amount of gas. So the first price, it says $2.75 per gallon. So $2.75 per is a slope word, so gallon is the G over here. And you pay that price for anyone who buys, well, they have a promotion that the gas changes if you buy more than 10 gallons of gas. So if you buy anything more than 0 up to and including 10 gallons of gas, you pay $2.75 a gallon. I don't put an equal sign on the 0 because you don't pay when you buy 0 gallons of gas. So from 0 to 10, but not including the 0, we pay $2.75. Now if we buy more than 10, okay, I'm going to not do that yet, we pay $2.50 per gallon. Now we are writing a function for Erin, okay? So if you buy from 10 gallons of gas, her tank will only hold 12, so we can only go up to 12 gallons. It'll cost her $2.50 a gallon. Now, it said over 10, so that does not have an equal sign, but we have to be less than or equal to 12 because her tank won't go over 12. I'm going to put an equal sign because it will hold 12 gallons. All right, graph the function. Now, 275G and 250G make our tables. So 0 gets an open circle, and that'll be 0 anyway. And if she goes up to 10 gallons of gas, she'll pay $27.50. Okay. And then from 10 to 12, so 10's an open circle, and that'll be 25, and that'll be $27.50, and that'll be $30. Alright, so we have to graph this, and we can't have negative gallons of gas, so I'm just going to count by ones. And let's see, we got to go up to $30 here. I don't have 30 squares, so I think I'm going to count by twos. Okay, so I don't have my calculator with me, which is why I'm not filling in that table. You only need 2 points for a line anyway, so I'm going to have an open circle on the 0. And at 10, I'm going to go up to $27.50, which will be right here, and that's a closed circle because that's how much I will pay for 10 gallons of gas, and connect the dots. And then I have an open circle on 1025. Oops, open circle on 1025. And then 1230 gets a closed circle. And there's my piecewise function. So I hope you found that challenging, but I wouldn't worry too much. They usually only have you write the step functions. All right, number 8. Given some mystery function, what would happen if b were decreased by 3? Since b is not touching the x, that means it's a vertical shift. Verticals go the way they say, so that's a shift down 3. All right, for number 9, see, these exponents turned out right. What would happen to the graph if a were increased by 4 and b were increased by 2? Well, again, if b is increased by 2, that's a vertical, does what it says, goes up 2. If you increase the a by 4, remember the a is with the x, it goes the opposite way you would think. So if you increase it by 4, that makes it go left 4. Number 10, given the function p of x, what would this look like in relation? That is outside the function, so it's going to go, it's going to shift down 3. Number 11, given the function n of w, a new function, r of w, is taking the n function and shifting that by 2. And the 2 is with the w, it's in parentheses, so it's a horizontal shift, and it's going to shift left 2. All right, number 6. The graph below is f of x. Graph g of x, which is equal to whatever their function f of x is, with a vertical shift that goes down 3. All right, remember, take every nice point you can and do the shift. Down 3, down 3, down 3, down 3, down 3. Now, they said take their function f of x, shift it down 3, and then we're going to call our function g of x. So make sure you label it. Number 8, given the graph of f of x below, graph a new function called g of x, which is the result of shifting their function f of x. The plus 2 with the x means go left 2, and outside we have a minus 1, so we're going to go down 1. So here's a nice point, here's a nice point. Yeah, we got a lot of points to shift. Remember, you want this as accurate as possible, but since they're straight lines, you can just do a few and make sure you use a ruler carefully. Left 2, down 1. Can't do the top point, so I'll do this one. Alright, and that's what our graph looks like, and we have to label it g of x. Alright, that ends the review. I hope you did well.